Please excuse my voice today. I've got a bit of a cold. Might just be the pollution. Anyway, we're heading to a place today, an ancient place. It's older than all the historical parks like Ayutthaya, Sukhothai, Kampang Phet, and all those places. In fact, it's much older than any of the Khmer places here in Thailand. It's much older than Angkor Wat itself. In fact, it's half a millennium older than Angkor Wat. This place is at least 16 or 1700 years old. It's only been dug up relatively recently, and this is one to watch. This will be a big historical park in Thailand sometime in the future. We are down in Chantaburi province. We are not massively far from the Cambodian border, and it would be easy to look at this place that we're going to today as just another Khmer place, but it isn't. It's much older, and it's more linked to Chenla or the Funan kingdom. Anyway, we're going to go to a few other places today. We're not just going to go there. We'll have a quick look there, and then we'll go to a cathedral in Chantaburi, an ancient fort, and a couple of other places. We'll probably finish off at the beach. It's going to be a cracking video. You should watch it right the way till the end. Let's go. Not much is known about history here in the far east of Thailand, or the southeast of Thailand, the eastern seaboard over near the Cambodian border. This is the mysterious and enigmatic Boran Muang Phaniat, and it's proper old. We're talking a minimum of 1700 years old, and it isn't Darawadi, and it isn't Khmer. This is, depending on which history book you read, this is a Chenla era or a Funan era port.
See, no Khmer holes. All the Khmer structures you go to have all got holes in. The drill holes. Look at this. And they say this was the location of the original Chantaburi. Possibly it's pre-Khmer, so possibly it's Lawa, possibly it's Chenla, possibly it's even Funan.
The coastline was a little bit further up, and this was off an inlet, and this was the port. It was possibly the original capital city. Now, there is a book, and I can't remember while I'm doing this intro who wrote it. I don't think it's published into a hardback or anything proper, but it's a little book called The Kingdom of Phaniat. I'll put a link in just down below, or I'll put a thing on the screen here, and it will explain a little bit more. But look, although they found loads of stuff here, and you can see this laterite pond here, this is the only thing really above ground, because you've got all those houses there. There's a village built right on this historical park. We have stuff that has been dug up from places that people can get to, 1600-year-old lintels. There have been inscriptions that describe a Chenla era king visiting this port on his way to that other port I forget the name of, which is now in South Vietnam. There's a lot still buried here. There's a lot that are in different museums. We have, I think, Chantaburi National Museum, Kanchanaburi National Museum, Bangkok National Museum. There's a lot of different stuff. And indeed, that temple I just drove past a while ago has got at least half of one of the lintels and some of the other stuff in there as well. Need to come back here because, as you can see, not just the village houses, you can see laterite stones and ruins under the village houses, but all of these orchards, these fruit orchards nearby that the Fine Arts Department can't get into. We're talking cashew nut orchards and stuff like that. But as the Fine Arts Department gains more access over the next few years, this place will come forward in leaps and bounds, and I do believe this is probably going to be one of the next big historical parks to be dug up and tourists invited in. As I said, we've already got lintels 15, 16 and 1700 years old. We've got inscriptions that detail different kings from about the 900s, 800s. And also, interestingly, you can see from the artefacts dug up here that people lived here or stopped living here right up until the time, coincidentally, that Chantaburi itself was formed. This main site was originally 2 kilometres by 1 kilometre, surrounded by a moat, and there is the remains of another laterite pond very close to here, and there are a few structures that are sort of sticking out the ground. But until the correct organisation or the Fine Arts Department, like I said, gains access to this place, we're not going to know. I wouldn't necessarily suggest coming here for a visit. There isn't much here, but I will be back with somebody to explore properly, because there's a lot more stuff to be found here, an awful lot, and I think there's probably going to be inscriptions that explain a few things too.
Bless her, gangster granny saw me and she's just leapt right up there. Look at that. Can't keep a tie away from the little shrine or the place to pray. You go pay your respects, love.
That was about 4:30 in the afternoon, so we're going to pop back to the guest house now. I'll show you that quickly. We'll pick this vlog up again in the morning in another historical part of Chantaburi.
I'm just about to check out. I don't normally do room reviews, but hey, this was alright. 450 baht. Cheapest place on the whole coast. Works though. Hot bathroom. Yeah. Job's a good one. I've seen some good locations for Cafe Amazons with great gardens, but this has got to be one of the best ones.
Wow. We don't see too many churches in Thailand, certainly not of this nature. This is the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. It's a Catholic church and it's located in the city of Chantaburi in the province of the same name, and is the main witness of French presence in this city. This place actually became a cathedral in 1945 when the Pope at the time decided so. It was constructed during the 10 years of French occupation of the city of Chantaburi, and it was formally inaugurated in 1909. It looks pretty great. Let's have a look.
Funny, that's exactly the same way that we build the trebuchets when we do the outward bounds trips. Very, very secure knot, shall we say.
I'd like to say something quickly about religion. Now, I didn't used to believe in God, and I wasn't brought up that way, or religion for that sense. I used to say it was the same as politics. People will blindly believe or feebly follow. At one point, I would even mock religion, calling God the magical sky fairy, for example. However, after decades of life and travel, I've changed my mind. I believe there is something else, a spiritual realm, shall we say, I do believe in God. I still don't subscribe to a particular religion, much like politics, but funnily enough, I wasn't expecting it, but as I visited this place, I sat down, I did do the Catholic cross, and I sat down and I prayed to God for about 5 minutes at a silent little prayer. One thing I would say is, where do we now get our moral compass from if it isn't taught in school or by parents? Where is the collective moral compass of a country such as England, shall we say? Now the church isn't the focus point of a community. Who teaches the youth morals?
Trying mad.
เดี๋ยวเราได้รับอาคารอนุรักษ์ดีเด่นนี่นะครับป้ายอาคารเราดีเด่น100 กว่าปีนะครับบ้านหลังนี้116 ปี
There's been a church here for quite some time. It was built in the late 1600s, finished around 1700 by Vietnamese Catholics and a French priest. Now, the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception was expanded several times, and this present neo-Gothic structure constructed in 1905. And this is where it's of particular interest to me and how this video links up. It is believed that the French army took laterite bricks from the ancient city of Muang Panat to make the base of the church. It's a beautiful place, whichever way you look at it. I had a good look round the old Chantaburi riverside community, and I went to the gems market too. That's another video in which I tell a story from 20-something years ago when I came to Chantaburi with a young New York gems trader named Sonny, and we got ourselves in a bit of a pickle involving 3 rather large African guys who wanted what was in Sonny's pocket. Anyway, that's another story. Right now, we're on our way to a pretty spectacular fort from quite a long time ago. There are a number of forts in Chantaburi, but this huge fort was built by King Rama III in 1834 to prepare for a fight with the Vietnamese. It's got a huge wall, a moat and 4 doors. This is the main door.
Wow.
There are about 30 or 40 of these cannons, mainly British and French built, and the National Maritime Museum is within the grounds here, as is the Underwater Archaeological Centre. It is actually thought that King Taksin the Great camped here while reassembling his army before retaking Ayutthaya in the 1760s, but what's left, or what we can see, was initiated by Rama III. Let's have a little climb about and a drive about, and then we'll crack on to the next destination.
I'm always worried about dogs, but I don't think they're going to climb up here, are they? Sturdy-ish. Right. Okay. Pretty cool.
When I was younger, I really wanted to design defensive structures for the city. As it turns out, not my forte. Do you know what? Here's something that you probably don't know about me. I used to work in a fort cleaning the inside of cannons, and then they fired me.
This is pretty cool.
I feel rather fortunate to be at this fortress. This place is fortified with beauty and fortitude. I know these jokes are pretty bad, but in my defence, I did just build a little fort. I'm writing a book at the moment on how to increase the military population in our armed forces. So far, all I've got is the draft.
1789. Think that's Rama. Maybe not Taksin the Great. Might still be him. Might be Rama II. Not sure.
French President Emmanuel Macron is bringing back national service for their armed forces. French teenagers aren't too worried though. I mean, how hard can waving a little white flag actually be? Actually, just had a thought. If chickens took over a military fort and the military and the armed forces, would it be a chicken coup or a chicken coop? That's pretty bad, isn't it?
It is huge and it goes on forever. Massive. That was the first police stop of the trip. A quick Sawadee Cup, a nod, a kapom, and wave through. Lovely jubbly.
It was after lunch, it was Friday afternoon, and I just couldn't be bothered to drive back to Bangkok. I don't like getting on a motorway and just going. Boring as all bejesus. I'd rather take the B roads, the small roads, and take a few hours doing it, enjoy it, get out the car, smell the roses or inhale the dust or the pollution or whatever it is I am doing that day. Anyway, I decided I'd have another night on the beach, but I would drive back to Rayong province along the coast, along some of the lovely spots. I stopped for lunch. I'm not going to bore you with that. I did a few things on the way back, and I decided I'd head back to my favourite beach for sleeping, which is Lem Mer Pim Beach in Rayong province, and the hotel there cost about 1,000 baht, something like that, but that's with a sea view. And the thing with Lem Mer Pim, for relaxation alone, for me, I've got a great breakfast spot that I love, I've got a great dinner spot that I love, I've got a great lunch spot that I love, and I just like wandering up and down unmolested, so to speak. But as usual, I'll show you one or two places on the way that I haven't shown you yet, maybe a beach or two. Let's go.
That's actually someone's garden, you know. That's paradise to me. Garden like that. House on the beach. Come on. That's way too many whiteys for me. Way too many. A couple of Thai members of staff and the rest are, yeah, not for me.